Hey guys, welcome to Transform Your Body. My name is Jimmy and this is our nutrition overview of what exactly you need to do to ensure that you get the best results while you're training at the studio here. So the first thing is it is a paleo-inspired nutritional approach. And what that means basically is we're going to go back into like caveman days where if you can't hunt it, you can't gather it, then you're pretty much not eating it. So there's no processed foods. Dairy for 99% of you is going to be off the menu, and gluten, we're going to try and avoid that as well. It's not the devil, but it's not also your best friend, ideally, when we're trying to lose weight. Now, intermittent fasting, we're going to have a little bit of this here. Now, that's nothing to be too worried about or concerned about. Most of the fasting is going to happen while you're asleep. And how we do this, we have a 14-10 approach. This is how we're going to start it off. So what the 14 means, you're going to have 14 hours of fasting and you're going to have 10 hours of feasting. So basically, if you say wake up in the morning at 6, you're not going to have your first meal until 10 in the morning. And then you're going to go through and you can have your last meal at 8 o'clock at night. Sounds pretty easy, right? And then you just like, from as soon as it hits 8 o'clock, that's dinner done. Then you go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing. The reason for doing that is breakfast is not necessarily the most important meal of the day, as a lot of us are led to believe. What we do need to do is we need to make sure that the digestive system has got enough time to rest, recover, because every time we eat, like that old methodology of saying 6 small meals a day is best for weight loss, and, keeps your metabolism firing, it's actually not true. So you can get the same amount of metabolism firing by keeping it to 3 meals a day, but we're going to get an extra added benefit by fasting, by giving the digestive system time to rest, to repair, to absorb all the nutrients that we're doing, and give it a break, because there's a lot of hormonal benefits that we get from this as well. We do eat carbs. Carbs is not the devil, and the real simple way that we do it is on our training days. We have high carbs on the training days. And on the rest days, we just reduce carbs a little bit. We keep it a little bit lower on those days where our energy expenditure is not as high. We do eat fats. Fats is also not the devil. Eating fat is not going to make you fat. It depends what type of fats and how much we're eating of it. And good fats there would be our avocados, the coconut oil, macadamias, any sort of nuts, macadamia nut oil, all those sort of things, they're fantastic. So we're also going to have a bit of a flexible approach by tracking our macronutrients. And what that means is a macronutrient is a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate. That's it. We're just going to track our percentages. We're not counting calories. We're tracking how much protein we're eating a day, how much carbs we're eating a day, and how much fat you're eating per day. Because it's the portions, it's the percentages of that matter. And also with fruit, yes, we're going to still eat fruit. Now, fruit is not necessarily a bad thing as well. People are like, fruit is so good, you shouldn't cut it out. Or other people are like, it's high in sugar, you got to make sure you don't eat that. So I'm a bit in the middle there. So we've got to eat to our goals. You got to understand that. So yes, fruit is full of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients and stuff like that. But if you're eating it all day, that'll blow your carbs out because it's so high in sugar. So this is the easiest rule to think of when you're having your fruit is have it straight after your training, and you can have it for dessert. That's on training days. And on days where you're not coming to the gym, you can just have it for dessert. Pretty simple. And then a sample day would look something like this, guys. So we would just say you wake up 6 or 7 in the morning, you can have a black coffee because we're not having the dairy anymore. So we would have a black coffee that just, if you need that to wake you up, then you could possibly come to the studio in the morning. After your training, you can have a bit of fruit, but then you won't have your first proper meal until, say, 10 a.m. because that's our intermittent fasting. And that's going to be mostly protein and fats and veggies or salads. So there's going to be no carbohydrates in there, really. And then lunch, like, say, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's going to be the same again. No carbohydrates there. But then dinner, that's where we're going to have our carbs there, so we can remove our veggies so you got more room for carbs. And my favorite carbs would be rice, sweet potato, white potatoes, squash, pumpkin. They're my favorite ones, and they're the ones that align with our nutritional approach that we're doing here. Now, that is all you need to know, guys, for now. This is going to get you started, and there'll be more detail coming up in other videos.